Hispanic Americans, or even the people that are hearing from Texas, California, Florida, New Mexico. They were never told that we were part of the first globalization.
Tell me more about that.
Well, I recommend everybody to watch a documental that is called Spain, the First Globalization. And they,
Spain, the first globalization, a documentary.
yes, a documentary, yes. And they explain that the Spanish Empire was the first globalization with one language, one coin, and that ruled the world from Alaska to Patagonia and Philippines to Spain. So if you had the Real de Ocho, no, Real of Eight, maybe I don't know, the Spanish coin Real de Ocho. If you had that money and you spoke Spanish, you can do commerce from Alaska to the land of fire, all through the continent, and from Philippines in Asia, Polynesia, and Madrid in Europe. It was the first globalization. And that coin was done also in our countries because Peru, Lima, Cusco, Mexico were places where that coin was made. So it was like the dollar can be printed by Mexico, by Peru, by Philippines, by Madrid. Imagine their economies. In fact, the inspiration of the dollar is that coin.
Oh wow. I have read something like, okay, very, it's crazy that it's like we have to go back to school to relearn all of this history.
I don't know if you have the history. Where does the symbol of the dollar come? No, the
But it's
S
from the Dutch
with
word
the
taler or the German word
that's
taler.
the word, the tallard,
Yeah, the
the
taler.
tallard, that it was the peso. That was how the real or peso de ocho was called. But the symbol, the S with the two bars,
Ah,
where does the
okay.
symbol come from? That's another information that I have here, that it has inspiration in the Spanish coin.
Yeah. Just
So I
briefly
can,
on this documentary, it says it addresses the least known aspects of the historical Hispanic monarchy known as the Spanish Empire. And it says here it features the presence of 39 historians, and all of which try the always uphill battle of debunking the Spanish Black Legend. And that Black
yes,
Legend, just by the way, was very first created by Protestants in Germany, England, and Holland, amongst others.
Netherlands, yes, of
Yes,
course.
the Netherlands
Uh,
was big in
William
that.
William William of Orange and Theodore of Bry were the ones that used the
Yeah,
print to,
printing press.
yes.
Yeah,
Here,
when I get around to the Spanish Inquisition, the collusion between these empires to smear and lie is shocking. I mean, the political corruption that went into creating this nation, this Europe-wide propaganda is shocking. But these are Christians lying through their teeth. Uh, Pedro Jr. asks, "What is the Black Legend?" I'll share that. I'll share your screen in a moment. What is the Black
yes,
Legend?
Black Legend is manipulating uh, or lying or cutting parts of history only to have a bad image of an empire or a group of people.
Yeah, specifically though, it relates, at least in terms of the Spanish Inquisition, it relates to
Yes,
the idea that the Spanish the Catholic Church in Spain murdered 50 million people during the Spanish Inquisition. 50 million. And I mean, there probably weren't even 50 million people in Europe, in all of Europe at the time, but somehow the Catholic Church killed them all. And so the Black Legend was designed to conjure up images of torture, of confessions extracted under extreme torture, limbs being amputated, people being bored into by saws and nails, and it was designed to demonize the Catholic Church, and it was extremely effective. Okay, let me just take that away. So you've got this
Yes, that's
image.
the region of the symbol. They are the bars that
Ah,
come from the symbol of Spain until today. You see the Hercules bar, the Hercules columns. The
the
Her-
real Carlos the third coin. So this is this coin that says, well, what does it say on the coin?
it says
Traque
ultraque
unum,
unum.
traque unum.
Ultraque ultraque unum means we both are one. That means that both sides of the hemisphere, both continents are one empire. Ultraque unum.
Ah, so there was no sort of slave and
Oh,
master dichotomy.
slavery was prohibited, was forbidden, was banned for because of the laws of Indians, the Indian laws.
Okay. And there's also another word in the pillars,
Plus ultra,
plus
yes,
ultra.
plus ultra come from a Roman uh, myth that says non plus ultra from the Hercules columns. It means don't go more, don't go beyond. No, non plus ultra means don't go beyond this place. Don't go beyond the Hercules columns because it's unknown territory. When Christopher Columbus arrived to America, they changed that phrase for plus ultra. That means go beyond the Hercules columns. We are the ones that go
Go
beyond
beyond.
this place. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, very interesting. Actually, I was watching a talk recently on history, and it spoke of the idea of there be dragons on all these ancient maps. There were there
Yes.
be dragons, there be monsters. And this was on maps. And actually, the historian I was reading was saying that this actually was something that was very common because people were very nationalistic, and anything beyond their borders, outside of their realm, was monstrous, was evil, and there was that
Yes.
us versus them idea. Whereas this is a very different view of the world.
Yes.
Actually, this is
And
in a complete contradiction or
and
contrast.
and uh, and it is based on the Catholic view, and I am going to explain why.
Interesting.
Because Catholic means universal.
Ah, yes.
The word Catholic
Do you know what
means
communism means?
yes,
Universal.
yes,
So the parallel is there for a reason.
yes,
Communist, it's also universal.
yes, of course. Catholic means universal, and we received the mandato. How can I say mandato? The order. We received the order to spread the good news until the end of the world. We have
Right.
that in the gospel. No, go and tell the good news until the end of the world.
And love thy neighbor. Don't see him as a monster.
Yes, and that's why um, Apostle James is buried in the end of the world, literally, because in Spain, the uh, far extreme of Spain, that is Compostela. No, it's the farthest place in the known world. There
Yes.
is
I haven't been there. I've been about 300 kilometers from there, a few hours, couple of hours drive from there. Yes.
there's a
Um,
place.
I've been on portions of in Spain on the walk, Santiago de Compostela, the route of Saint
Uh-huh.
James. I've
Yes.
I've been on portions of that. I've been to see. It's
Look,
beautiful. It's amazing.
look at what is commenting Chiqui Shaky, I think. Santiago de Compostela, no, the one previous.
Where?
Santiago de Compostela near Finisterre.
Okay.
Okay, Finisterre means end of the land. Finis, end,
Oh,
fin,
Finisterre.
Finisterre, where the land ends. Because
Ah,
that was the place where there was nothing beyond. And they
right.
went to that place to bury Apostle James, to go
Ah,
until the last place of the earth, because
okay,
that
hold
was
on.
the
I need to go
commandment.
find this now. So Santiago de Compostela.
Yes, it
Um,
is at the far end from Spain.
okay, so here I am. I'm just going to share my screen for a moment. Okay, so that is Santiago. That is Spain. So yes, of course.
Yes,
Then of course you had
that's at the
the Voyages of Discovery by 1492. Come on, what's his name? Columbus.
Christopher,
Christopher Colomb. Yeah,
Christopher
yeah. I
Cristobal
have
Colon.
been
Yes,
as far as up here. I've been to this section of Spain here.
yes,
But this is wow. I mean, it's amazing how many the the route and how many pilgrims actually walk that route. How many people you see
and
walking it when they're
as
going.
as Rusty says, the Apostle Thomas went to the other side to India. So they were like all over the world that know the world. So when they discovered another continent, it was like now we have to go there to preach the gospel over there, and that's why Catholicism is not national. It's not about our community or only for us. It's to spread it, go over the world and talk about it.
Right. Yeah, but that was the Great Commission.
That was the Great Commission. And
That was
that's
the Great
why
Commission. Yeah.
the Spanish Empire had the phrase plus ultra, más allá, go beyond.
Ah, okay, makes sense now. That's a whole culture.
Yes,
That's been. Are you sure this wasn't a Baptist thing? Are you sure it wasn't something by the non-denominational churches that were doing this? Are you sure it's Catholic?
it's Catholic because it was done by the English,
Because
by
I'm pretty
the
sure it
Spanish
was Jesus
Empire.
and the 12 Calvinists in the first century. That's what I hear.
Mhm.
Are you sure? Are you sure it wasn't Jesus and the 12 Calvinists or Jesus and the 12 Baptists in the first century? Because I'm kind of hearing stories like that. You know, because Jesus says, I want to make you Calvinists. Didn't you hear that story?
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah, I did a talk on that recently. I called it originally Jesus and the 12 Calvinists, but I changed it to Jesus and the 12 Gnostics because what I've been discovering is that in all of the claims from the 16th to the 18th century in Europe to the apostolicity of the Protestant movement, every single one of the Protestant denominations, or technically they call themselves branches or denominations, but in fact they are schisms. The correct term is these are
Yes,
schisms. Every single one of these groups identifies themselves as apostolic by directly going through major heresies, directly through anti-Christian heresies, which is an insane choice. And the Baptist churches are the most egregious of those that make the claims. But they
yes.
go through the Albigensians, the Cathars, and other crazy groups that are
No, yeah,
not remotely Christian, and it's insane.
no.
The Baptist.
There are only very few churches that has the apostolic succession. The Orthodox, for example, the Orthodox, they do have the apostolic succession by Andrew. That was the brother of Peter. So Catholic and Orthodox are brothers, even between their apostles, even
Right.
between their heads.
Yeah. You know, there's that whole debate of whether Christopher Columbus was a citizen or a Portuguese citizen? Was he from Portugal or was he from Spain? Because I've seen there's this whole debate about
In fact, most well approved theory is that he was from Genova.
from so Portuguese,
No, Italy.
Italy.
Italy. Genova, yes.
Okay, so why didn't he? So why is there such a question about this?
There's a lot of mystery between uh, Christopher Columbus' early days. We know very little. That is something also very weird about a person that lived in the 15th century, because we know much more about people that lived even before Christ than Christopher
Yeah.
Columbus
Well, I mean,
himself.
look. Well, for instance, the fact that he was alive is a mystery because we know the Catholic Church killed everybody. They killed 50 million people. How was anyone alive at that time? You know, that's the Spanish Inquisition left everyone dead.
Yes, of course. Even they killed more people that existed.
Yes, correct,
Well,
correct. So
they say that the Spanish Inquisition killed like 10 million witches in Europe.
I know.
So